Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 131
on Now You Know.
This episode, as always, is brought to you by our amazing, wonderful, perfect Patreon patrons who support us on Patreon.
And it's brought to you by the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Schaumburg, Illinois. It's the highest rated Marriott in the Schaumburg market. And you know, that's right near the airport. So if you're ever going to Chicago, that's the place to stay because they're solar powered. And brought to you by ecoware.us. We're wearing some new designs this week.
Yes.
And there are some new designs that Bobby's been working on that you're really going to enjoy. Go check them out at ecoware.us. So, Jesse, did you get your invite?
I got my invite.
I got mine, too.
Nice.
Luckily, we kind of knew the event was coming a week ago, so we booked our flights and everything, but we finally got the actual invites to the event. This is the Model Y event, which is happening on Thursday. So this will be at the Tesla Design Studio in Hawthorne, California. So this is going to be at 8 p.m. Pacific time in California. And so they're going to be live streaming on Tesla, but we're going to be live streaming on this channel as well. Now, I don't know exactly how good the Wi-Fi is going to be. Usually it is pretty good. Check out our channel and we're going to be showing you angles that you won't be seeing on Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone to some pretty extreme lengths to get some interesting camera footage. Obviously, I don't know what it looks like yet, but we have some techniques that I think are going to stand above the rest. So let's talk a little bit about this event. The Model Y is going to be unveiled. We know that. The Model Y, we've seen some pictures of it.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Tesla's revealed.
You can't really get a good sense of too much about this car. It kind of looks like a Model 3 from the front. It kind of looks like a Model S or X from the front. It's, you know, all Teslas kind of look pretty similar when you're lighting them in such a way. And then we also have this other image that we've seen, you know, very early on. This might not even be a real picture, but more of a render. And other people online have been doing their own interpretations, artist renditions of what they think the Model Y is going to look like. And all of them look like just a big Model 3.
Or a little Model X.
Right. It's usually chunks lopped off of both of them to kind of give you a sense of what it might look like. And, you know, when we were speculating on what the Model 3 might look like, everyone just drew a slightly smaller Model S.
Well, I mean, so all three cars have their own distinct personalities. I think Franz is definitely going to put a distinctive personality on the Model Y. He's a great designer, so I think we're going to see something that we're going to like. But the big question that people are having are things like, what's going to be inside the car? Is it going to have a third row seat?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough room. I mean, it's the same kind of footprint as the Model 3. So you got to think, you take that trunk room, you know, you take the whole roof and you just kind of like push it up, right? And then you take your seat and you scrunch it. Whoop, okay, now you're up here. Then you kind of think like, oh, could I fit another chair, you know, like behind me? Can I be sitting here? I think you could. I think you could do that.
I think they pulled it off in the Model X. I think it's possible. And if they do it, I think that's a huge benefit for people with families and friends that want to be able, I mean, you know, if you have a family of 4 or 5 already and you want to be able to pick up some extra people, it's a huge boost. So hopefully they can pull that off.
Right. I think something like that would be pretty cool. I think that there still are lots of other things that we're not thinking of, whether it be a center console option for the back of the Model Y, some kind of like executive sort of loungy seats.
I don't know.
Whether it could be like just a huge trunk. Because, I mean, the trunk of the Model 3 is enormous.
Right.
A lot of people, especially from England, love shooting brake designs, which are kind of the station wagon designs in America. I think there's a difference between American tastes and English tastes in terms of shooting brake versus crossover design, where they love shooting brakes because they call them shooting brakes and it sounds really cool. And over here we have station wagons and all you think of is like National Lampoon Vacation.
I'm so excited.
I'm very excited. We're very lucky that we get to go.
Yeah, and we're hopefully going to get rides. We're told there's rides. So hopefully we can take you along for those rides as well. We're going to do our very best. So NIO has canceled a factory in Shanghai. They won't be building their new Shanghai factory anytime soon as they await China's 2019 EV policy. So China has kind of changed their EV policy. The big kind of outline of it is that China is taking away most of the incentives for small EVs, but giving even bigger incentives for long-range EVs.
Right. And I think that the thing here is that we don't know exactly what China is going to be doing in the future.
Right.
And so that is, I think, part of the reason why NIO canceled its factory.
I think also the reason might be that Tesla's opening their Gigafactory in Shanghai. And if you're on the fence in China about buying an electric car, I've got to guess that you're going to maybe wait for the Model 3 and Model Y.
The Model 3 could be even cheaper in China.
Right.
And especially with no tariffs. So suddenly a car that would have cost you a pretty penny coming across the Pacific Ocean is going to be a lot cheaper because it was made in China. And that means that NIO is now competing with the Model 3, which is already a very well-established brand.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
That Tesla can compete head-to-head with Chinese companies.
Right.
So NIO delivered 11,348 of its 7-seater ES8 SUV to consumers in 2018, which did exceed the company's targets. But NIO's CFO, Louis T. Heise, said, "We also expect deliveries in the second quarter of 2019 to reflect continued weakness as we await the results of the 2019 EV subsidy policy in China." So that caused a huge stock drop of about 30% last week. And that comes off of the 60 Minutes story about NIO. So if we see here the chart, there was a huge bump of about 30% when the 60 Minutes story came out, and then a huge 30% drop when it was revealed that they weren't hitting the numbers they thought and they were going to be not opening that factory. My take on this is that if it weren't for the 60 Minutes story in the first place, we probably wouldn't have seen that bump, and so it would have been pretty much the same level that we were at before. I don't think the either opening or not opening of the factory should play that much into this. The question is demand.
Right. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this on In Depth tomorrow. So if you want to hear some more talking about that, talking about supercharging versus battery swaps, if you're interested in that, wait till tomorrow. We'll be coming out with an episode all about it.
So according to Electric, Tesla has now closed the first 29 stores in the US and Canada, but word has gone out to employees that Tesla is freezing store closures and layoffs until the end of March. So our buddy Eli from My Tesla Adventure is reporting from a Tesla store that already closed near him.
Eli here from My Tesla Adventure, and I'm reporting live from the Tesla showroom at the Galleria Mall in Roseville, California. Tesla recently announced that they were going to be shuttering most of their retail stores, and it looks like it's already happening. The store here at this location is already closed. I believe this is one of the first to close as part of the movement that Tesla is making to go entirely online with their retail sales.
I don't think that Tesla handled the store closings that well.
I think from a public message perspective, they handled it very poorly. But I don't think that it was necessarily the wrong move.
Okay, I guess my take here is that we're looking at a store behind Eli there that is lit with a Model 3 in it, no salespeople, but I assume that Tesla's still paying their monthly lease payments on it. So I got to wonder, is that lease going to go for the next 8 months or something? And why didn't they just keep it open with a limited staff?
I think that Tesla didn't know exactly when the standard range Model 3 was going to become possible.
Okay.
I think that we don't know what happens behind closed doors, so we don't know if there was some breakthrough in like, aha, we can have robots do this, or, oh, that part we can get for a lot cheaper. Lots of different things could make the Model 3 standard possible. And what might have happened is they crossed a threshold where they said, oh boy, we can actually sell the base Model 3. Yay! And then they were looking at their numbers and they were saying, okay, so we sold this many long-range Model 3s, this many performances, this many lemurs, and we're projecting to have a certain amount of demand for the base Model 3. And I'm expecting that it was pretty high because as we're seeing going forward, it seems like they have a high demand for the base Model 3, which is awesome. And what they realized was, hey, if all these people had already put in their reservations and are waiting for the cars, and we expect to have a certain number of sales of base Model 3, what are we doing with all these stores?
No, I exactly agree. I mean, each Model 3 that rolls out is its own store with its own salesperson in it.
Right, but here's my point, is that they were saying, you know what, we could have this either happen even faster or save a lot of money by closing the stores. Now, that means that they didn't have enough time to end leases and plan ahead because they didn't know exactly when this was happening. But I think that they're going to save a significant amount of money by closing some of these stores, getting all the people out saying, okay, go home, we can't
I don't know.
support you.
Doing it so last minute leaves a bad taste in the mouth with customers, but also you got all those Tesla employees who got practically no notice and just had to change plans abruptly. I just don't think that tells your team that you're really on their side. If they had done this, if they had tried to target it better and said, well, we know that we're going to be closing stores over the next few months, let's do it in a controlled fashion so that those employees can be moved to different locations. I don't know. I think it would have gone a long way.
What this freezing of store closures could be is just trying to push out as many employees as opposed to firing them and having to give them a severance package, which I don't like. Personally, I don't like the thought of being like, okay, we're going to cut your bonuses, we're going to cut your incentives to sell cars, and basically cutting your wages way back to the point where you might not be able to support yourself. You're going to have to quit and find another job instead of just firing them outright. That's not cool. I don't think that was...
Or giving them opportunities to move into other departments. I mean, when you have a service center that's expanding, you're going to need a lot of support staff. So even if you don't know how to do a service technician job, you could probably get rolled into a customer-facing job.
Right. And this is where a more controlled closing would have made a lot more sense. You would have been able to, move your top people from one store to another. But overall, it does sound like they're going to be closing a majority of their stores. So I can see that geographically, unless you were willing to move to a different state, that possibly there was no way for you to, move to a different store if there wasn't going to be one within 100 miles.
Right.
I'm kind of torn between like it being a good business decision and it being a poor people decision.
Yeah.
I think that, even if it was a good business decision, it still doesn't make people happy.
So our friend Fred in California got us some exclusive footage of 2 Model 3 break-ins. Check these out, Jesse. So you know that Model 3s now have the Sentry mode. That means it turns on the front camera, but also 2 of the side cameras. So check this out. His first one here, his friend had his Model 3 broken into, that little side window we've been talking about, like we did that episode on the drop lock. So the thief broke that window, and that appears to not set off the car alarm. So Sentry mode was alerted, and that meant that it turned on 10 minutes of video capture prior and 10 minutes after the event, which is great because it captured the thief here.
Right.
And then in the second break-in, we see an almost identical thing happen. Thief pulls up in a car, passenger gets out of that car, breaks that little window, and reaches in and tries to get stuff out of the car. Now, in the first break-in, nothing was stolen. In fact, the owner didn't even notice the car window was broken until he got home. And in the second one, we don't know if anything was actually stolen yet or not. But in both cases, the police were alerted and the footage was handed over to the police. I think that's fantastic because now you actually have a chance at catching these people.
Right. Whereas before, for every car, if your car got broken into, there was no picture, there were no leads.
Now, even though I don't think the camera captured the license plate of the car that did this, at least you know the make and model, and have a description of the people. And we've blurred the faces here, but actually we've seen the footage. The police can actually see the faces of these people, and maybe they can get a matchup to them. So I think this is going to go a long way at reducing crime with Model 3s, because I think that, first of all, criminals are going to talk to each other, and they're going to start saying, like, don't go near Model 3s. There's cameras everywhere.
Right. So the one thing that I noticed about this footage is that we don't have any rear camera footage, and we don't have any interior camera footage.
No.
I think that those two would be very, very important. There should be 2 more cameras on the B pillar that we should be able to see. Now, I don't know if that's a question of bandwidth, and they said these cameras are going to give you the most bang for your buck, but it would be really helpful to have those other cameras. So I don't know if it would be possible that maybe you plug in a second USB drive, so that way the bandwidth between the USBs would allow you to capture all of the camera footage, but that would be really, really useful because then you could see what they were doing inside the car.
The other thing that would be cool is in the first case, we know for sure the alarm didn't go off because the mobile app didn't notify the owner, and there was you can see on the footage, there's no like flashing lights or anything. So it would be cool if they could adjust something in the software so that breaking even that small back window would turn on the full alarm.
Right.
All right, so what's that, Jesse?
Oh, this is that's a Tesla. That's definitely a Tesla truck right there. I'll tell you.
No, it is. It's carrying a bunch of Teslas on it.
No. That white, that wrapped up white thing, that's definitely a camouflaged pickup truck, Tesla pickup truck, I'm telling you.
It looks like a Ford F-150.
That's what they want you to think.
They do?
It's I mean, come on. It's on a trailer full of other Teslas. I think that there's no way that this isn't either a Tesla pickup truck or like a test mule where they put a Ford F-150 body over, the drivetrain and stuff like that.
Why is it in Ohio?
To do testing in Ohio. Testing.
Like cold weather testing?
I don't know. I don't know.
You want cold weather, drive it up here. My guess is that the carrier that's carrying it needed, had an open slot and they needed to fill it because that's how they make their money. And so they picked up someone's Ford F-150 that's going to them.
But why is it all camouflaged?
Well, it's not camouflage. It's just covered to protect the paint. It's like a special version that's going from the plant somewhere in the Midwest to somebody's house. That's my guess. Okay, so you think it's a mule. You think it's a Tesla powertrain, and they put a Ford F-150 on it, and then why not just leave it as a Ford F-150 on the back of it? Why cover it up to make it look more suspicious?
Well, maybe I don't know. It's exciting that pictures like this can come out, and without any more information, we can speculate that it could be anything.
That's true.
Right? And it's exciting that we can actually, that we're excited to
I think
about
that's
that.
more of the story. Like, we only included this because so many people got so excited about a little picture that probably has nothing special about it at all.
Right.
So it looks like what we kind of expected, Jesse. There's been a crush of Model 3 orders because of the release of the standard range Model 3. And because of that, Tesla has had to push back the delivery timeline from 2 to 4 weeks of the Model 3 to now 6 to 8 weeks.
So that either means that they're like, we can't produce Model 3s, or it means that there's a crap ton of orders that came in.
Oh, yeah. There's a huge crush of orders.
So this is awesome. Okay, this is pushing through all the FUD stories, all the things where they're like, oh, we don't know if Tesla's going to be able to do jabba, jabba, jabba. No. This amount of demand is super duper important.
And I mean, look at the standard range plus, which was 2 weeks to get your car. Now it's 2 to 4 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, there's just basically so much demand. They can only build so many at the Fremont factory. If we look at the Bloomberg tracker now, because it's been a while since we've looked there, we now see that it shows an estimated 216,000 Model 3s produced and a production rate of 5,745 a week. And I would argue that the latest production numbers are actually, that's kind of on the low side, because I think they've actually, if you look at this graph, they were going really fast. They slowed down for a few months, where I think what happened during that time is probably some kind of switching up of lines, improving lines, and now they're back to fast rate of production. So I think we're probably actually faster than 5,700 a week.
Right.
So the EPA announced that the U.S. vehicle fuel economy in 2017 rose 0.2 miles per gallon to 24.9 miles per gallon overall from the model year 2016 to model year 2017. And during that time, CO2 emissions had an equally slight fall, dropping 3 grams per mile to 357 grams per mile, which is luckily a record low.
So, I mean, that's good. That is a positive story. You can see all of the auto manufacturers here moving towards more fuel-efficient vehicles and less CO2 polluting vehicles.
Not all of them.
Oh, what's that one?
Toyota.
That's
Okay, so this chart is from 2012 to 2017. This is 5 years of data.
wow.
And during that time, Toyota went backwards.
That's pretty rough.
And not only that, though, look at a lot of these companies. I mean, Honda did a great job, right? And even I'll say Mercedes did a great job. But Fiat, Chrysler, Ford, GM, they all barely moved in the right direction.
It's true. And, this chart doesn't really show the full picture because Tesla's not on it.
Oh, can we put Tesla on the chart?
Let's take the first chart, the miles per gallon chart,
Okay.
and we're going to do miles per gallon equivalent,
Okay.
and we're going to do the average between the three cars.
All right.
So we're going to end up with roughly 100 mile per gallon equivalent.
Yep. Do we have room on this graph for that?
No, we're going to need to make more room on the graph, so we're
Okay.
going to need to slide everything over, and you can see exactly where Tesla sits on that graph.
Oh, wow.
That's what we call a step change. And then we're going to also look at the emissions, the CO2
Oh, yeah. What
emissions
is Tesla emit?
per mile. 0. At least if we're talking tailpipe emissions.
Oh, my gosh. So how do we fit that on the chart?
Yeah, we're going to have to slide that chart way over. And it makes everything else look like a line, right? If you actually wanted to scale it to see everything, you wouldn't be able to discern a difference between all of these other manufacturers. They're kind of vying for like little tiny bits. When you move to electric, you've changed the game completely.
I was just under the impression that every year in the United States we were moving, every fleet forward, and that they're all kind of at the same line. I didn't realize that it was this sloped line where some manufacturers were allowed to be way back in the pack.
Right, and it's just sad that the average miles per gallon is 24.9.
I know.
Especially when there's vehicles that can get, even burning gas can get a lot better mileage.
I know.
I'm going to have to say it's mostly because of the pickup trucks.
Yeah. So the Geneva Auto Show just finished up, and there's some really cool entrants. We can't tell you about all of them, but this one caught our eye. This is the Fiat Centoventi, which is 120, which stands for the 120th anniversary of Fiat. And just to show off, I guess, they included 120 different accessories that you can build into the car.
So you have to this is like an options package where when you're ordering the car, you're like, oh, I guess I'm going to have the cup holder and the this and the that.
Well, I mean, it's a concept, so let's keep that in mind. But according to Fiat, you can have 4 different roofs, 4 different bumpers, 4 different wheel covers, and 4 external wrappings. Fiat says, in particular, the wrapping can be performed by any dealer at any time when requested by the customer. The operation is very fast, courtesy of the remarkably linear and flat exterior surfaces and low cost.
So it's going to have a range of 311 miles, and they said that this is going to be the least expensive BEV on the market.
Okay, well, let's go back a step. Okay. So it's modular. So when you first get the base model car, it's going to have a 100-kilometer or 62-mile range. But you can add batteries, and you add them underneath the car until you've filled up that space. And then there's even space inside the car under the seat where you can add an additional battery, bringing the total range up to 500 kilometers or 311 miles, like you said. But at that point, you would no longer be the cheapest EV on the market.
Okay, so you could get a 62-mile range, cheapest BEV on the market.
Right.
It's not too bad.
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna bash them for that. And
No.
it's kind of cool to have the modular batteries things.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a concept, so we're not going to see this car exactly.
No, but I mean,
I doubt we're going to see the battery module system.
well, but if they can pull it off, it'd be great, because they said it
would.
can be disconnected and put on charge directly in the user's home or garage, just like the battery of a modern e-bike. So, I mean, think of that. That's cool. You take the battery out from under the seat, plug it in your garage, and then check this out. You can put in different modules in the seat mode. So, like in the passenger seat, you can replace a seat with a baby seat, for instance.
right, or some kind of a storage device or something like that.
I mean, it's a cool idea.
It's
We've seen this before in
Right.
concepts. It may not make it to production. I hope they do make it to production.
Right. Well, and that's the problem with a lot of the concepts that we see. They're very forward-minding, very forward-thinking. I don't know about the pegboard on the front. It's cool. It's a neat concept to be able to be like, what do I want to have on my seat?
I feel like in practice, those holes in the dash are going to get filled with like dirt and gum and dead skin and stuff.
Right, which is why this is a concept and not a production vehicle. But like at the same time, it's a cool concept, and it would be great to implement some kind of thing like this.
I mean, look at this. One of the options would be to integrate a 50-watt solar panel on the roof.
Right, so one of the roofs could... Wait, 50 watts? That's not a lot of power.
It's not?
I feel like on a roof like that, you could fit probably at least 200 watts. I mean, I have a 60-watt solar panel. Could easily fit on my roof. Yeah. It's like a little foldable one. Like this one right here could fit on the roof.
Right, and this is 325 watts.
Right.
Okay, that's a good point. Well, they also say when the vehicle is on the move, for obvious reasons of safety, the car will only show the Fiat logo. But once it stops, the driver can switch to messenger mode. What's more, the digital tailgate can easily become an advertising billboard, which can be rented out to advertisers to recoup the cost of parking, for example.
Yes. Again, as here is where concepts are important, right? When you're thinking about some of these crazy ideas of like a pegboard interior or a modular seat or a messenger mode in the back / billboard thing.
Right.
Those are good concepts. What I wish wasn't lumped into like a, maybe we'll do it kind of thing was the electric drivetrain. I hope to see this Fiat in the future. I mean, there is already an electric Fiat, the E500. It's got a very short range. I mean, it's basically the range that they're advertising on this thing. But I just wish that it wasn't so ridiculous. I wish that it was a bit more grounded. It looked more like something that you would actually see.
Oh, I like the look. I think this is pretty
I like the look too.
urban-looking car.
I love the look of all concept cars. I wish that it, I guess,
translated into production.
It did translate into production, that we did get some of these cool features.
Right.
You know, as crazy as they are, I think that a lot of people would enjoy them. I don't know. talked long enough about this car. Let's talk about a different one.
This is another one that came out at the Geneva Auto Show. This is the ŠKODA all-electric Vision IV concept. So last week we talked about the ŠKODA crossover. This one is a coupe, and it's based on the VW MEB platform. It can go 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.9 seconds. Its top speed is 112 miles an hour. It's got 2 motors for a total of 225 kilowatts of power, and it's got an 83 kilowatt hour battery, which gives it 500 kilometers or 311 miles of range under the WLTP standard.
Right, which is...
What's that stand for again?
It stands for, well, less than that probably. I don't know what it is. I think it's a German acronym. You're never going to hit the 311 miles of range. It'll have handleless doors.
What?
So, I mean, I guess you walk up to it and the door's open, or maybe you wave at it, or maybe there's some kind of a thumbprint or like something that you touch.
Can you see the interior?
Yeah. So you have the interior here.
What's sitting on the... Did someone leave their laptop on the dash?
This is kind of an interesting design. When I first saw it, I was like, hey, that's just like the Model 3. And then I realized, no, it's a lot higher screen than the Model 3. What it looks like to me is that, the designers designed the interior of the car, and then someone high up was like, we need to put a screen in there like the Model 3.
We've already rendered the whole thing. Where are we going to put the screen? Where are we going to put the screen?
No, just pop it right on top. It's going to look fine.
On the dash? Put the screen on the dash?
Absolutely.
Won't that block the...
have a screen. Shut up.
Won't that block the...
Shut up!
The drop? Yeah, it looks like an afterthought. I mean, it looks like they had to hurry it into... How can the driver see past that? It blocks the driver's view.
Again, it's a concept. It's probably not going to have such a large screen, which is unfortunate. But
anyway, I'm excited about this car. It does have a lot of cool things. We don't know anything about price, but it does sound like production could be as soon as 2020.
Right.
And all the other numbers are really good.
Right. And it's built on the Volkswagen's MEB platform.
Right.
Which it seems like they want practically all electric cars to use this platform.
Smart. Save money.
Potentially.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. It's time for the lightning round.
Here we go.
All right. So Germany tells Tesla... Halt!
So this is a story from Electric that the German Industry Association...
Wait, you're not going to pronounce it?
Nope. Has taken issue with the way that Tesla's order page for the Model 3 shows the price of the car with the estimated gas savings factored in. Even though down on the left-hand corner it shows the actual price, and there's an asterisk next to the gas savings price. So basically, Tesla has agreed to stop by March 20th. I don't disagree with this decision. I think that it's a bit disingenuous to show the total gas savings of the car over the life of the car when you're looking at a purchase price when you're like, oh, how much money do I have in my bank account?
But the purchase price is on the page.
It is on the page. I would just argue that it's misleading. It doesn't really help you.
I think it does. I mean, because you should factor that in when you're making a decision. You should factor it in, and if you're not told to factor it in, you'll never think about that. It's true. You're going to save a lot of money.
You could save a lot. It depends on how you drive. I just feel like maybe have it be a separate step. You have to choose your type, and then you choose your interior. How about somewhere in between there? You're going to say figure out your savings, and it'll say, hey, you're going to be saving $1,000 a year on maintenance and fueling costs and everything like that. And you're going to be like, oh, that's so cool. That means that if I'm saving $1,000 a year, you'll be able to say, oh, that's so much money a month, and that I can put towards my car payment.
Bad boys.
What you going to do, Jess?
What you going to do when they come for you? Absolutely. And
they did come for him.
They got him.
So you remember, Jesse, that back in January, there was a supercharger in St. George, Utah that got vandalized, and we were reporting on, who could have done this?
Right. Well, and it wasn't just, graffiti. No. It wasn't just,
They cut the cable, and they drilled out the holes. You could not use the charger.
It was pretty well done vandalism.
Well, it turns out that 52-year-old Johnny Doak was arrested for trespassing on the night of the incident, and then he later bragged about causing the damage at the Tesla Supercharger, according to witnesses. When he was arrested, an investigating officer spoke with him, and he confessed. When the officer met with Doak at the jail, he admitted to causing the damage, describing how he had been drinking heavily that night and was grieving the death of a family member, according to the police. Tesla said repairs, which took 3 days and affected the access to the station, cost about $8,000. He was charged with a count of second-degree felony criminal mischief involving damage of more than $5,000, and he remains in custody on $10,000 bond.
Right. This was a very poor decision by someone who's inebriated. Once you've committed a crime, if you were really in a bad place about it, don't brag about it.
I just don't get the extent of the vandalism. I get if you're upset, lashing out, crashing into things, throwing a bottle. I can't imagine then like trying to drill out the charger holes and stuff.
Right. And if you're drunk and you're in a fury, it seems like you're going to want to do something a little more physical than like sitting there and cutting through a very thick cable.
Right. That could kill you. Like for all he knew, it was going to kill him.
Right.
So Tesla has secured $500 million for the first segment of building out the Gigafactory, which is pretty exciting. That means the money's flowing, the construction's going.
And so where are they getting this money from?
This is coming from Chinese banks. So this is from China Construction Bank Corporation, Agricultural Bank of China Limited, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China Limited, and the Shanghai Pudong Development Bank Company Limited.
So, I mean, they've got their loans locally.
Yeah, I mean, this is exciting because it means that all these Chinese banks are glad to open up lines of credit to Tesla. Guess what's the number one selling EV in Germany?
Well, it's Germany. It's probably like the BMW i3.
Nope.
Mercedes B-Class.
Nope.
Audi e-tron?
Nope. It's the Model 3.
Wow.
And it unseated the Renault Zoe with only 2 weeks of data in February. Check out these graphs. Like, this isn't just like beating it by a little bit. It walloped every other...
Trounced it.
Yeah.
Absolutely destroyed it.
Yeah. And with very little data. And this is limited by a boat that has to pull up in the Netherlands and the cars have to drive off it.
And then they go throughout Europe.
Right.
Right. Wow.
I know. This is going to be an incredible story coming on in the next few months as we see all these countries have their EV sales change.
Zach, there's one less billionaire in the world.
Well, what? Did somebody die?
No. We're talking about David Einhorn. He used to be worth $1.9 billion. Now he's only worth $700 million.
Did he lose his wallet?
No. So through poor investing decisions, not limited to shorting Tesla, he lost all of that money in investments. And in fact, assets in Greenlight, which is his investment fund, declined by more than half, from $6.3 billion at the start of 2018 to $2.5 billion at the close of it.
I guess Elon's getting some of his shorts.
He already shipped him a box of shorts.
That's right.
Shorts, to be precise.
He-
There's not much shorter shorts Elon could send him.
No, it's like bikini territory now.
Yeah.
So this is exciting, Jesse. The Boring Company just announced a new proposed loop system of tunnels for approval in Las Vegas. So the first leg of the system would be operational at the Las Vegas Convention Center as soon as CES in 2021. So the Las Vegas Convention Center selected Boring Company after sending requests for proposals last year for solutions to move people around the massive convention center complex between all those different halls. So in an interview with Electric, the convention center said that the Boring Company's was the least expensive of the projects submitted, and they also noted that the advantage of the system being built underground would result in little or no disruption at the surface or with their convention center regular operations. And then check this map out, Jesse. That first map you saw was moving people around the convention center. But if that goes through, why not go further?
Right. And so the Boring Company proposed this much larger system of loop, which would basically go to every casino in Las Vegas, which is exciting for me because I'm just ready for another Ocean's 11 movie where they move all the money through the loop. It would either be Ocean's 14 if they had George Clooney and Brad Pitt, or if they went with the Sandra Bullock route, it would be Ocean's 9.
Okay.
Or they might be counting down on that one. Ocean's 7?
I'm getting really confused. But anyway, the cool thing is you don't have to stop at the Strip. You could keep going all the way to the airport and then just why not go all the way to L.A.? Imagine this.
Right.
You're in LA, you're hanging out with your buddies, and you're like, hey, let's go to Las Vegas tonight. It'll only take like an hour. And when we come home drunk, we can just sleep in the loop. Prius non prius.
What are you talking about? I
sorry,
do not
just
speak Latin.
Going through my Latin there. Well,
Yeah.
you know how the Toyota Prius is like the number one alternative powertrain vehicle in pretty much any market, including California.
So you said Prius, non-Prius. It's been a while since I took 6th grade Latin. What does Prius mean?
Prius means to be first.
Okay, so Prius, meaning the car, is not first.
Nope. It's now number 2.
And the first...
Is number 3. Oh, sorry. The Model 3.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So look at this. The Model 3 absolutely destroys the Prius hybrid and plug-in hybrid.
Yeah, this is data from 2018 in California.
So just in 2018,
Yeah.
when they were,
Just ramping up, like
just ramping
ramping up.
halfway
Exactly.
through the year, they were able to outsell the Prius, both the Prius hybrid and plug-in, by a wide margin.
Yeah, I mean, you take a car company like Toyota that's been making this car for a decade or more, and then you take Tesla that just came into this market practically, and now they have 29% of the market.
If you buy a Prius, you're either doing it to save money on gas, or you're saving it to help the environment.
Or both.
Or both. Is there a car that's better than that in both respects? Yes, it's the Model 3. And with the base Model 3 coming out, because 2018, there was no base Model 3.
Nope.
For the entire year, there was
Correct.
no base Model 3. The
Right.
cheapest you could get would be a Lemur, and that was at the end of the year.
Right.
I posit to you that the Prius cannot remain hybrid for much longer. They're going to have to make it fully electric.
Interesting.
I don't think they're going to do it.
So Tesla hackers Very Green and Damien XVI have taken apart the Tesla AP software and figured out that this is a picture of what it's looking at now. Tesla AP now detects stop lines at intersections.
I'm trying to picture it because I live in New England. The line that's
Oh,
supposed
that's
to
right.
be-
We're from New England.
We're
There
from
are
New
no
Eng-
stop lines.
Right. So good luck, Tesla. I don't know why it is in this neck of the woods. I know that there's plows and stuff, but is paint just millions of dollars a gallon? I don't understand why we can't have lines on our roads that get repainted.
Yeah, I know. This is an important point. All of you transportation secretaries out
Right.
there, you got to repaint
Paint the damn roads.
Yes, because it's not just cars that need to see the lines.
Right.
We drivers need to see the lines too. In New England, it's like drive by memory. You have to know the road like you've driven it since you were a
Oh,
kid.
you pull on the road. Oh, yeah, this is a 3-lane road. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He thinks it's a 2-lane road. It's a 3-lane road, buddy. It's annoying. But anyway, Tesla can now see stop lines.
That's the next step to being able to do intersections.
And I mean, it can see stop lines with very little data.
all right, it's time for our video contributor story. What do we got this week, Jess?
We have Sandeep with his Aether 450 scooter in Bangalore.
Hi Jack and Jesse, I'm Sandeep and I'm in front of the Aether Experience Center in Bangalore, India. So this is a Indian manufacturer that makes electric scooters. So here is the Aether 450 electric scooter, which looks pretty futuristic to me. And I'll take you around the Experience Center to show you these kind of nice depictions that they have. And it is not a very fast scooter, which it takes about 3.9 seconds to go from 0 to 40 kmph, and the top speed is at about 80 kmph, which is not very much, but when compared to the petrol scooters on road right now, it's pretty fast. And this is the battery and the specifications. So they'll give you the true range. With the regular mode is about 60 kilometers per charge, and you can push it up to 75 kilometers per charge if you want to drive in economy mode. And here it is in the skeleton form, which is showing off all the muscles and visuals of the scooter. As a mechanical engineer, I can say it built like a tank. It has a belt drive and the batteries are under the footrest, and it's perfectly balanced with almost 50-50 weight distribution. So this is the map of the Bangalore with all the charging stations. We are still planning to expand the charging stations, and I think it's free for first 1 year of charging. And they also have these intelligent systems that tracks the user behavior on the scooter, and which can give you the best riding patterns to improve your range and performance of the scooter for the longevity. So thanks for watching. Back to you guys.
That's pretty cool to be able to get around without having to pollute. And I mean, in markets like that, this could be a huge, huge vehicle. All right, it's time for our Patreon bonus stories. Head on over to Patreon if you're new to all this, and you can watch our bonus stories for as little as $1 a month. And we've got so many this week. There's so many that we couldn't fit into the show, but also there's certain stories we couldn't tell on the show.
Right.
If you want to know what I mean, head over there now.
It cost a quarter.
It's a Patreon bonus story.
So we're back from the Patreon bonus stories, packed, jam-packed, full of fun stuff in there.
Good one.
All
Yeah.
sorts of just morons and race cars and everything. So go
Yeah.
check it out.
So again, head over to patreon.com, $1 a month.
Yep.
And you get 4 of them per month because that's how weeks work.
That's right.
The Romans decided that.
We have so many Patreons to shout out to. We've increased the number to 20
Mm-hmm.
every week now. So here we go.
Derek Therian,
Todd Chilson,
Wesley Woodward,
Scotty T,
George Shonia,
Adam Sachs,
Daniel Mislovic,
Mike V,
Eugene Lee, CFA,
Robert Schultz,
Mark Percy,
Mark McKinney,
Trent Patterson,
Terrence M. Sullivan,
Fast 640 KDSL,
Wellesley Magyar,
Paul Imhoff,
Bruce Norland,
Kenneth Kopp.
and Dick Bergeron.
Thank you so much for supporting this channel.
If it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to go to the Model Y event and show you guys what's about to unveil.
It's true. Tesla does not pay for airfare.
No. All right, it's time for Tesla's tweets of the week, Jesse. And
For those of you who don't know who Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is, I don't. Maybe he's not as well known as in foreign countries, of which many of you watch. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He is. He was a wrestler. Now he's an actor.
he's a big actor. Everyone knows him.
I
right?
mean, he's in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
You've probably seen him. This is Elon Musk's face put onto Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
But now let me get this straight. Elon voluntarily tweeted this out?
Yes.
No one hacked his account.
It's funny. Look,
It is
listen,
hilarious.
listen. So Elon likes memes.
Yeah.
And this is a funny meme thing.
I think that Bobby's actually working on one of these for a t-shirt. So stay tuned for ecoware.us because I think we won't be able to
A
resist.
Dwayne the Elon.
Yeah, I
t-shirt.
think I lift a little. Yeah.
I saw another one which was Ellen DeGeneres with Elon's face, and it's Elon DeGeneres. Very funny.
All right, so this next tweet is a really cool one. This is NASA's tweeting out, need a recap of the SpaceX Crew Dragon first flight test so far this week. Here's a look at what has happened and a look inside the spacecraft itself. Dragon departs at Space Station on March 8th. More on this mission, go to this web address.
Unbeknownst to the people who tweeted this out, the Crew Dragon left the ISS and successfully splashed down in the ocean, was recovered. So it was a huge success.
Yeah, so huge, so exciting. All right, it's time for Community Mail Time. Community Mail Time. We got our friend Marcus in Switzerland. He just got his new Model 3. And what I think is so cool as you watch this video he's putting together is that we saw all this excitement in the US and we're still seeing it. And Europe had to sit there and just wait and wait for it. And now seeing it take place in Europe is just kind of surreal to me because, I don't know, I didn't think that they'd be as excited about it. I don't know why I thought that, but like seeing you guys in all these different countries love it just like we do here, making it this universal love for the car, like it's going to be, the love for this car is going around the world. Do you realize that? It's just, I don't know, it's something so surreal about it. All right, speaking of around the world, our friend Nacho in Spain just got his Model 3.
One of the first in Spain. Congratulations, Nacho. And he used our referral code, so we're going to be visiting him in the next generation Roadster.
Spain?
Driving it to Spain.
Wow, can't wait to see you, Nacho. All right, and then our friend Carlos shared this. This is the Tesla Model 3 order page in Mexico, so you can now get the $35,000 or 703,000 Mexican pesos Model 3 in Mexico. Woohoo! That's so exciting. Our friend Devin just got his Model 3 in Utah. He was able to get it 2 days after he ordered it.
Wow. How is that even possible?
I don't know. That's just amazing to me.
That is amazing.
And on top of that, full self-driving didn't cost the $3,000 he thought it would after he bought it. It only cost $2,000.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right, it's time for our on-air question of the week. Who do we got, Jesse?
We have David. David, why don't you say hello to everybody?
Hi there, hi all. I'm David. I'm here from York in the UK. So with the Model Y launch that's coming up, I'm just wondering, do you expect it to be pretty much what we've heard to date? So like 10% bigger production in 2020? Or do you think there's going to be a surprise? Do you think there'll be something extra?
That's a really good question.
I hope there's a surprise.
I hope there's something extra coming along with the Model Y. I think that there's a lot of features that they could stick in this car that we wouldn't be expecting, whether it be something to do with the trunk or the frunk or seating wise or range. I mean, there's so many different things that could happen.
Yeah.
I think, the expectation has been that it's a 10% bigger, 10% higher price Model 3. That's just, it's
like boring.
Right. It's not exciting. I feel like there's going to be something exciting.
Yeah, they've had a lot of time to work on this, like in the background. So I feel like they must have come up with some cool things. Let's talk about third row seating. I think that might be a thing. If that is, then think about the price range and the size of this car. If they could pull that off somehow, then having a third row seat would be an awesome new option.
Right. And I think that maybe it is a boring, 10% bigger, 10% higher price Model 3, but maybe there's something else that they're going to unveil. I mean, we'll be there, so we'll find out for you.
Well, if I were to speculate, I think two things. I think, first of all, I think everyone's expecting it to be 2020 production. But I think this time they won't want quite as much time between revealing it and starting production. So I think they might surprise us. Maybe it'd be ready in maybe a few months rather than next year.
Ooh, like in time for Christmas or something.
I think,
yeah,
you might be right. I mean, maybe they've been secretly... I mean, the only reason that I would think against it would be because they just came out with the base Model 3, but maybe... maybe it's really not that hard to make a Model Y compared to a Model 3.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, because I've been thinking that revealing the Model Y at this point is actually kind of dumb, because the Model 3, you still need to keep the demand going for it. As soon as you show the Model Y, I think a lot of people who are on the fence about getting the Model 3 might just go, well, I'll hold off for another year or so.
True, but on the other hand, I would say that I think that there are some people who just want the Model Y who will not buy a Model 3 no matter how cheap or awesome it is.
And then in terms of any other surprises at the event, we know it's not going to be the pickup truck. He's already tweeted that that's not going to be the case. But is it possible that maybe there'd be a Model S or X refresh? I mean, you got to keep in mind now that with the 2170 batteries being able to do so much more at Superchargers, if I was in line to get a Model S or X, I think I would hold off. How about you, David? Like, if you were thinking of it right now, would you be waiting?
Well, I'm very much waiting for the 3. I mean, obviously we can't get it here in the UK yet, but I'm set on that. So the other thing that I think could be a surprise at the event is maybe they might show off what they're doing with the Autopilot 3 hardware. I think that might be part of the event.
Yeah, we're supposed to get rides in the car, so we'll let you know anything we find out.
Can I just say as well, I just think it's awesome that you do this on-air thing. I think it's great to have the opportunity to speak to directly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Thank you so much, David.
Yeah. Goodbye to everyone. Yeah, brilliant.
Do you think someday I'll be able to pull off being able to say brilliant after things? It just doesn't work.
No.
I love it, though.
I know.
I love it.
Man, that was great.
It really was. I'm really enjoying the segment, getting to talk to people about their question, and they get to follow up. Like if we didn't quite answer, some aspect of it.
Right.
And the other thing I just want to say is we're not getting enough questions there on Discord. So head over to Discord if you're on there right now at the $4 or above level. Leave us some questions. And don't forget, if you're on Discord, don't answer the questions because you have to leave them for us.
Right. We're going to answer the questions.
Right.
There are questions. They're not your questions, okay?
Then you can go on and answer next week and be like, those guys didn't know what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
All right, it's time for our Supercharger reviews. What do we got this week?
Hi, Zach and Jesse. This is the Hinckley Supercharger in Hinckley, Minnesota, just off of Interstate 35 going up north. This is the only one between the twin cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul and Duluth, so it's a good stop. The Superchargers are located in the Toby's restaurant parking lot, adjacent to the highway exit. Toby's has been a must-stop location on any trip to northern Minnesota for as long as I can remember. The convenience store at the gas station is good for a restroom break, coffee, and a quick snack, or a giant cinnamon roll to grab and go. The restaurant offers sit-down meals, nothing too fancy but decent food, and again, giant cinnamon rolls. The restaurant also has a small gift shop, and you can order from the bakery showcase to go. Other nearby meal options are Hardee's, known as Carl's Jr. in some states, Burger King, Subway, Taco Bell, and McDonald's. The Days Inn is nearby as a lodging option, or you can drive a bit further down the road to Grand Casino Hinckley for gaming, entertainment, and lodging as well. Within the Toby's parking area, there's also an antique shop and small music store. Even though our 2015 Model S could make it from our South Metro home to Duluth without a stop in Hinckley, the nostalgia factor and a stretch of the legs make it a welcome pit stop. So if you're driving north in Minnesota, stop by the Hinckley Supercharger and have a great day.
Hey Zach and Jesse, I'm Chandler and this is Jackie and we're here at the Holbrook Supercharger in Arizona. It is a tiny little 4-stall and there's Burger King right behind me and that's about it. Now to give you a bird's eye view.
Hello, Zach and Jesse. This is Michael out here in Leavenworth, Kansas, just north of Kansas City and just south of historic Fort Leavenworth. Leavenworth, Kansas is the first city in Kansas, dating way back into the late 1800s. This is a new destination charger, just came online here about a month ago at a new Home 2 Suites. So it's the third, there's 2 destination chargers here for Tesla and 2 destination chargers for our regular level 2 chargers. So this gives us a total of 3 Tesla destination chargers within downtown Leavenworth itself, which is really nice because the nearest supercharger is on the complete opposite side of the Kansas City, Missouri side. So just wanted to give you guys a destination charge review here from Leavenworth, Kansas.
Man, they just keep doing them.
I know. That's so awesome.
This is so awesome. We have a whole map full of superchargers, and we should look at the stats on this and see what percentage have
that's
reviews.
a great idea.
Because I think we're probably approaching some meaty, percentage.
It's going to take a lot of work to figure that out, though, actually, because I don't think there's any automated way to do it. So,
well, we're going to have to figure that out.
All right.
Nick, get on it.
All right, what do we got for new superchargers this week, Jess?
We have the 8-stall in Parsippany, New Jersey.
I think it's Parsippany.
Parsippany, New Jersey.
See, we don't just mispronounce German words.
See?
The 6-stall in Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Number 623 in the United States and 1,472 in the world is the 10-stall urban supercharger in Los Angeles on Francisco Street in California.
Nice. And for Be Free this week, we got our friends over at dailytennislesson.com. They say, we run an online tennis instruction website and YouTube channel and would be happy to offer a discount on our online courses for Elon employees. We have several different courses on stroke technique, physical training, and singles and doubles. Got to keep up that tennis playing if you're going to work for Elon. You never know when he might come into the office and be like, you, doubles, downstairs, 5 minutes.
It's the Patreon giveaway.
All right, time for our Patreon giveaway. And this week we're giving away our EcoWare shirts. So you can head on over to ecoware.us to support us, or you can hopefully get pulled out of this barrel right now. We'll see who gets pulled out. Now keep in mind that EcoWare, that doesn't do anything. Keep in mind that EcoWare shirts are 100% sustainable. So organic cotton, renewable energy in the factories, and then carbon neutral shipping to your door. I do like the sound, though.
That's a good sound.
Oh, and it opened right in the right place, too.
There we go.
All right, who's our winner this week, Jess?
Let's see. Here we have Stefan Eckert.
Congratulations, Stefan. You'll be given a chance to go over to ecoware.us and pick out any of the designs you want. And we have some cool ones this week, Jesse, that I don't even think you know about.
Welcome to the end of the show. It's kind of a little mini show in itself.
I know, it's becoming...
we have so many things to talk about that we just don't even have time to talk about during the news because there's so much news to talk about, but we have other stuff going on. Discord. I want to talk about Discord. If you are a Patreon and you're supporting for $3 or above, you already have this perk, which is the Discord. Discord is a negative word.
Yeah, it is.
It sounds awful. In the English language. It means...
Not to get along.
Not to get along. I want to stress that it is the complete opposite of what our Discord is. It's basically just a forum. It's like a chat room, an organized chat room where we're able to talk about everything Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company.
We have so many conversations going on.
And people are doing projects, like electronics projects, where they're building their own DIY electric skateboards.
What? I thought you were going to say something boring.
No. Check out this video.
Wait a minute. He built that himself?
He built that himself.
And then he posted about it on the thing. And so, like, people who are working on this stuff can talk to each other and be like, how many batteries should I use and where should I put them? And
here's the website where I got the plans from, or this. Here are the plans. He's a person on our Discord that you can talk to.
Wow.
There are so many different people on our Discord, and everyone there is really, really nice.
And did you even mention that we're going to be starting a new Patreon perk level for more Discord stuff?
New Patreon.
This is a
perk
secret
level.
again that you only find out by staying to the end of the show.
Right.
So, there's a $3 level which gets you into Discord. There's the $4 level which lets you do that awesome on-air questions which we do every week. And now at the $5 level, not only are you going to get to be on the end credits that you see here and all those other cool perks below it, but you're going to get to be on a voice channel on Discord. So explain what a voice channel is.
So it's basically like a virtual talk room. There's
Virtual?
this thing called the web. No, it's basically you get on this voice channel, and then you have a micro. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your computer with a webcam. It'll just use the microphone. Basically, you're able to chat with other people
so I'm
using
on
your voice.
Okay, so I'm on Discord one day, and I'm chatting about, let's say, the skateboard project, and let's say you're the inventor of it, right? And I'm like, how many batteries did you need? And then I have to wait. And then you write back. But then I could be like, if I see that you're online answering me, I could be like, hey, dude, let's go onto the voice channel and chat. And in 10 minutes, we'll have talked way more than we could have chatted.
Right. So anyway.
That's cool.
Yeah. I hope it's going to be another way for our awesome patrons to connect with each other.
And wait, can I just ask another question?
Yeah.
That's 2 people. Can a third person join in?
Yes.
How about a 4th?
I don't know the limits of.
But I mean, like when we did this
computing.
the other day, we had like 30 or 40 people on
Yes,
there.
we did. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we could have a large discussion happening all the time.
Wow.
You know, you live in one part of the world. Luckily, people are going to be awake from your part of the world if you want to talk to those people.
That's cool.
And, you know, people stay up all hours of the night these days because we have, you know, electronic lights.
Yeah. Those electronic lights.
Electronic light bulbs.
Wow. That's, yeah, you heard it here first.
And hey, you know, if you like this show, you want to support this show, but you're like, there's no room in my budget to support you guys.
Why would you?
Every month, you can use our Amazon Associates affiliate link. Basically, as Amazon Associates, we earn from qualifying purchases.
And if you like listening to us as a podcast, because I know a lot of our new viewers don't know this. I get this emailed all the time, like, can I listen to you guys on a podcast? Yeah, you can. Brent takes a lot of work to edit down to an MP3, puts it onto Stitcher so that you can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, all of your favorite podcast channels. So you can listen in the car, listen in the shower, wherever you like.
Right.
You know, you can listen in the shower. They have waterproof waterproof Bluetooth speakers. Yeah, which you can get on Amazon.
It'd be a very long shower.
Well,
if you're still in the shower,
that's true.
That's not
well.
You're not
it's wasting water.
You're not being sustainable.
Right. No. Unless you recycle your water. But
it's
right. Even then,
that's just a waste, man.
It's true.
Awesome. All right. Well,
we got to head off to California. Let's get back.
Yes, we do.
All right.
Thank you so much for watching.
Now you know.